Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Texas City Council. Today is Monday, April the 14th, 2025. We'd like to welcome all of you here tomorrow. And for income tax purposes, you have one more day. So if you haven't gotten started on that, I encourage you to do that or file an extension. So anyway, that comes around rather quickly each year. Anyway, at this time I'd like to call on Jennifer Evans, our City Secretary, to provide a roll call. Ms. Evans?
Davis? Ms. Hart? Here. Mr. Metter? Here. Ms. Matlock?
Here.
Ms. Page? Here. Mr. Thompson?
Here. All right, we do have a full council this evening, and our invocation and pledge will be led by Council Member Mary Hart. If everyone will please stand. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, thank you very much. You may be seated. And just council, as a reminder, if you'll please have your microphones turned on during our meeting so that we can catch that audio for our citizens as well as for the record. At this time, I would like to share a proclamation entitled Safe Digging Month, the month of April. Is that yours, Ms. Matlock? Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. So, not sure what that issue is there. So, maybe leave it off unless you need it. Okay. All right. Thank you. So the month of April has been designated as Safe Digging Month, and I think that this proclamation this evening is very appropriate. We have had some recent issues in our community, both past and ongoing currently, not necessarily involving citizens, but involving some contractors who are either working directly or indirectly for some of our local utilities, and so this has caused additional workload for our different departments within the city and could in some instances be a safety factor. And so I think it's appropriate that we remind ourselves of Safe Digging Month. And so at this time I will read the proclamation. Whereas thousands of times each year underground infrastructure in Texas is damaged by those who do not have underground lines located prior to digging, resulting in service interruption, environmental damage, and threat to public safety. And whereas in 2005, the Federal Communications Commission designated 811 to provide excavators and homeowners with a simple number to contact with utility operators to request the location of underground lines at the intended dig site. And whereas Texas 811 is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the prevention of damage to underground utilities in all 254 counties of the state, promotes the National 811 notification system in an effort to reduce these damages. And whereas damage prevention is a shared responsibility, and by using safe digging practices, the excavators and homeowners of Texarkana can save time and money and help keep our infrastructure safe and connected. Now, therefore, I, Bob Brugman, Mayor of the City of Texarkana, Texas, do hereby proclaim on behalf of Texas 811 the month of April 2025 as Texarkana Safe Digging Month, and encourage excavators throughout the city to always call or contact Texas 811 before digging. Safe digging is no accident. And I have signed the proclamation, and Jennifer Evans, our city secretary, has attested the proclamation, and the city seal has also been affixed to the proclamation. So I want to encourage our citizens as well as our local contractors to take advantage of this very, very important service. At this time, we're going to have an update from our Texarkana Youth Advisory Council, the TYAC, and we have Brianna Lowe and Trinity Chase here this evening. So if you ladies would like to come to the podium, and we're looking forward to hearing about what all you all have going on. And I believe both of you are both students at Pleasant Grove ISD, yes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't mind, when you speak, if you'll please state your name for the record, and then we look forward to your remarks this evening.
Okay, I'm Trinity Chase. I'm going to be presenting our YAC Summit Review, which is, we go to a summit every year that teaches us a lot and teaches us ways to be a part of the community and just allows us to be better citizens. Yeah, ours was in Beaumont this year. We met a lot of other youth advisory council members, and it allowed us to share many ideas and get many more ideas to help our youth here in Texarkana and allow us to make our city better, not only for the people living here, but our future generations. We went into many breakout sessions that allowed us to learn a lot and talk to many different people, including adults and a lot of famous figures that taught us a lot. We had the opportunity to practice our public speaking skills. We got to go up in front of all of the YACs and present a presentation about our city. So that was super cool, a great experience. We learned a lot. We had financial advice breakout sessions. We got to go over how to apply to colleges, and we got to go over future career and field of study choices, personal development teams. We were put into a lot of random groups and were required to socialize with other people that we did not know, which allowed us to definitely network and learn a lot. We also got some new ideas on how we can improve our stuff. We got event ideas, how we can improve our social medias here. We found out about fundraising activities, how to support our homeless and poor communities, and support scholarship opportunities for members in TYAC. This year we did Arbor Day, which, if you don't know, is a day where we bag and hand out trees to our community. So if you didn't go this year, I recommend that you go next year. It's really fun. You get 5 trees, and you get to just drive around and get trees. It's really fun. We did an economic session with today's youth, tomorrow's leaders at the Texarkana Regional Airport. They learned about the history of the airport, the reason and the process of the new airport extension that they just added. They learned about the engine and machines inside of the plane by the director of Texarkana's College Aviation Mechanics Program, Mr. Brandon Sanders. They did a mobile pack with Tacos for Life. They packaged food for starving children. They were arranged into teams and assigned different areas to work with. They would package vegetables and rice, or they would weigh things, and it just allowed us to get with not only our community but other communities, allowing us to help just people in general. Overall, they packed more than 100 bags of food for children. Besides volunteering, we also do fun activities together. We went to Christmas on Main together. We did teen game night, which was something also at Tacos for Life. And we are friends outside of this. We are hoping to, in the future, redesign and improve our own social media, allowing us to get out to more children and allowing us overall just to expand of more than 6 members, connect with local high schools to have more volunteering opportunities and growing opportunities, and finding more ways to get involved within our community. And that's it. Bree, do you have anything to say?
Also, our community kind of new in the YAC, so which means we just started for 2 years, and a little bit thing I saw in another Yak member that they have a strong social media. Like they build it, they put all the stuff that they did, all the member that they have, and like I think we also have social media too, and I watch it like every day. But I think we need to have like our own social media to like grow it, to like show people like what we actually did and like what we actually help our community. So spend more time and like create more thing for social media stuff. That's it.
Well, ladies, we thank you very much for being here this evening and providing us with a report. You all have been very, very busy in the community, and so we certainly appreciate what you're doing and growing and learning more about city government. And Chiquita Burks, Cheetah is sitting between the two ladies, and so Chiquita is our liaison from the city as far as working with this group. And so, Chiquita, thank you for all that you do in working with them as well. And so you're welcome to come back anytime to provide us with updates on what you're doing, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future, okay? All right, thank you once again. All right, this time we move along to Mayor's remarks and items of community interest. Just a few, we've got several really sports-related and community-related events coming up, but just a couple of things in addition to those items. We have our annual Postal Carriers food drive that will be taking place on Saturday, May the 10th. And so at that time, this is an endeavor put together by our local post office or postal employees. And so what you're asked to do on Saturday, May the 10th, is to provide some non-perishable food items. You can put those items in a sack and set them out next to your mailbox, and when they deliver the mail that particular day on their route, they will pick those items up. And if you want to drop by Red River Credit Union on Summerhill Road, there will be a box or a container there, and you can drop those items there as well. And so we want to thank our postal carriers for doing this each year to raise these food items for our local food banks. And so that's certainly something that's certainly greatly needed. And so once again, that'll be coming up on Saturday, May the 10th. And then also this coming Sunday will be the 86th annual Kiwanis Easter Sunrise Service. This is an event that is sponsored each year by the Kiwanis Club of Texarkana, which I happen to be a member of. And so this Easter Sunrise Service will take place this coming Easter Sunday, April the 20th, at 6:30 a.m., and it will be held at Camp Preston Hunt, which is just off of Highway 82 East as you're going towards the Magnolia area. And if the weather is cooperative, then the event will be held at the outdoor amphitheater. And then if the weather is not cooperative, it will be held nearby in the dining hall indoors. And there will be those there to direct you either way. I've looked at the forecast, and the forecast doesn't look very promising for Easter Sunday. It looks like we may be having some thunderstorms and things like that in the area. So once again, it'll be at 6:30. We'll have special music this year by the Liberty Ilo High School Varsity Choir. They will be singing. And also, that's under the direction of Sherry Pickering. And also, our speaker will be Reverend Rod LaGrone, who is a local marriage counselor and teacher and attends First Baptist Church, Texarkana. So we look forward to Reverend LaGrone providing the Easter message that Sunday morning, or this upcoming Sunday morning. So you're welcome to come out to attend that. The program will be over no later than 7:30 a.m. So those of you who need to go to your regular Sunday church services will have ample time to get back into town and to do that. And so we encourage everyone to come out and be a part of this special service that will be coming up this coming Sunday for Easter Sunday. Also, I'd like to at this time recognize one of our council members. That's Council Member Christy Page. And she just shared with me that she received an award last month and on behalf of Melva Flowers, who is one of our community leaders in our community, and is a part of International Women's Month, which the month of May is designated as International Women's Month. Excuse me, did I say May? March. I'm sorry, March. I'm going backwards. I was going forward, so thank you for that correction. So feel free to jump in any time if I say something wrong. So the plaque states it's presented to Christy Page, City Councilwoman for Ward 4, in recognition of International Women's Month for your outstanding leadership and commitment to the city of Texarkana, Texas. Texarkana International Rotary Club, March 17th, 2025. So Councilmember Page, congratulations. And Brooke, can you grab a photo right quick? I'll step down and we'll have a presentation. Congratulations, Councilmember Page. Okay, so April is going to be a very busy month in reference to parks and recreation activities. So let me kind of run through some upcoming events that we have scheduled. So April the 19th and 20th will be the NCS softball tournament that'll be held at Wallace Park. April 26th and 27th will be the BATT Wood Bat Tournament at Wallace Park. April the 26th is the soccer complex grand opening. That will take place at 10 a.m. So I encourage the community to come out and be a part of this great, exciting renovation of Wallace Park. And so we appreciate the great work that Robbie and Ross and the staff have done working with Symmetry to make some upgrades out there. And it's going to be a very, very nice complex, and we appreciate everyone's help with that. Also, on April the 26th will be the CASA 5K Run. That'll be held at Spring Lake Park. May 3rd is the Twice as Fine Wine Fest. That'll be held at Spring Lake Park, and I think we'll hear more about that shortly. Also on May the 3rd will be the Walk for Life at Spring Lake Park. May the 10th, the USSSA Baseball Tournament. That'll be held at Spring Lake Park. We also have some events coming up at the Perot Theater. The Young Audience Theater presents Pedal Punk, Kirk Mechanic Cycle-themed steampunk show on April the 16th at 7 p.m. And then the Texarkana Symphony Orchestra presents Laskarov, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but hopefully I am, a violinist, and Saint either Sings or Sains on April the 26th at 7 p.m. And then Outback presents Jeremy Camp, who is a Christian vocalist and guitarist, and that performance will be held on May the 3rd at 7 p.m., and these events will be held at the Perot Theater. Tickets for Perot Theater shows are available at perottheater.org. At this time, we belong to our open forum, comments from the public. If there's anyone in the audience this evening who would like to address the council, you're welcome to do so. We do ask that you fill out one of these gold-colored sheets that can be found on the book rack there on the wall by the door. And you will have up to 5 minutes to speak. If you're here this evening and you're wanting to speak on behalf of one of our public hearing items, then I ask that you please wait until we get to that particular item. We'll be more than happy to listen to your comments at that time. I do have one sheet that's been filled out, and it's from Mr. Gary Gathright, and he would like to share some information with the council in reference to the upcoming Wine Festival. And so, Mr. Gathright, we thank you for being here. And if you don't mind, if you'll please state your name for the record, and we look forward to your remarks, sir. Thank you for being here.
Mayor, council members, my name is Gary Gathright. I'm our operations director for the Twice as Fine Texarkana Wine Festival. This year we are celebrating our 10th anniversary event coming up on Saturday, May the 3rd in Spring Lake Park. This is a huge achievement, right along with repeatedly being voted the best charity event in Texarkana. Just a quick show of hands, maybe from the audience and the council members, of how many have attended at least one wine festival before. It's a pretty good showing. We look forward to seeing you and everyone else in the park. Just wanted to take this opportunity to thank not only the City of Texarkana, but the Texarkana Parks and Recreation Department for your continued support of the festival. This is our primary fundraising event every year, raising almost 75% of the operating budget for the Alzheimer's Alliance and Our Place Respite Center. Every $50 we raise provides a day of respite care for one of our friends or family. Last year, over 6,000 people attended the festival, netting the Alzheimer's Alliance over $250,000. Since our first festival back in 2015, we have raised over $2.5 million for this amazing work. This year, we will have 28 wineries from all over the state of Texas and 65 merchants from as far away as Northwest Arkansas, Pearland, and as far west as Fort Worth. This speaks to not only the reach of our festival, but to the economic impact to the entire Texarkana area. Our gate receipts basically cover the cost of the festival, so all of our sponsorship dollars, in-kind donations, and other funds go 100% towards the Alzheimer's support and respite care services, all of it staying right here in our local area. Specifically, we would like to thank Robbie Robertson, Donnie Sparks, Jerry Tittle, and the entire Parks crew. I say this every year, and I say it to anybody that'll listen, and I can't say this enough, but we could not put this festival on without them. This event is only possible because of the team effort that takes place. On behalf of the board, our committee, our volunteers and staff, our director, Ms. Terry Arnold, our incoming director, Ms. Sandy Martin, and our event chairs, Haley and Randy Rosser, I would like to close with a simple thank you. We all look forward to seeing everyone Saturday, May 3rd at Spring Lake Park for our 10th annual Twice as Fine Texarkana Wine Festival. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Gary. Well, we certainly appreciate the great work that you do in our community with the Alzheimer's Alliance. This is something that practically will affect everyone and or their family at some state in their lifetime, whether it's a family member or a friend that goes through that, and it's something that's very challenging. I actually went through that personally myself, not with a family member, but with a close friend of our family, and I became her guardian, and she had that particular illness for over 7 years, and so it's a long, enduring process, and so it's very challenging and very sad to see someone go through that, but it's comforting to know that we have an organization in our community, such as your organization, that's there to provide services for those in need, including their family members. And so we want to thank you for the great work that you do and wish you much continued success. Okay. All right. Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council this evening? Okay. If not, we'll move along with our appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Do we have any appointments this evening to be made by the council? Mr. Davis?
I have one reappointment to the Community Health Corps for Linda Hooks.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Are there any others? Okay. Mr. Metter?
Yes, sir. I've got some reappointments and new appointments to the Industrial Development Corporation. Steve Mayo, Leslie Ledwell, Rob Sitterly, and Dennis Washington.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Metter. Anyone else? Okay. I do have one that's involving one of my appointments, and it's for the Airport Authority. I would like to appoint Jason Thompson to fill the remaining term of Mr. Matt Robertson, and I believe that term will go through until January of 2026. And I want to certainly thank Mr. Robertson for his service to the Airport Authority Board. He was there when the airport was going through the design and building of the new terminal and has really been dedicated to that effort. Mr. Robertson was elected to the Pleasant Grove ISD School Board last November, and he contacted me and said that he certainly honored the opportunity to serve on the Airport Authority Board, but by being newly elected to the Pleasant Grove School Board, he really needed or thought he needed to devote his attention towards that effort, and I certainly understand that. And so he has asked to come off. And so Mr. Thompson is a local real estate broker in our community, and with matters coming up with the airport, especially pertaining to real estate matters, I think Mr. Thompson brings a lot to the table in reference to being a positive part of the Airport Authority Board. Okay, and any others at this time? Is that all? Okay, so is there a motion to approve those that have been nominated for either appointment or for reappointment? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thompson. We have a second by Councilmember Matlock. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, the motion carries. I want to thank those who have been appointed and those who are being reappointed and thank them for their service to our city. This time move along to items for consideration. The consent agenda. Item 1 is to consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council held on March the 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Item 2 is resolution number 2025-044, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Tatum Excavating Company, Incorporated of Texarkana, Texas, in an amount not to exceed $1,694,970 for the West Park Boulevard Street Reconstruction Project and reimburse Architects Real Estate LP in an amount not to exceed $47,400 for the relocation of an existing billboard sign with funds budgeted in the TERS number 1 fund, Fund 116, and 2019 TERS Bond Fund, Fund 424. Item 3 is resolution number 2025-045, approving the Texarkana Airport Executive Director to sign documents necessary to renew a $3 million line of credit with Farmers Bank for 3 years. Item number 4 is resolution number 2025-051, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract for the South Wake Village Road Sewer Improvements Project in an amount not to exceed $485,690.20. Funds are available in the amount of $485,690.20 in the TWU 2024-2025 budget, Texas Capital Improvement Fund. At this time, I'd ask for a motion for approval of the consent agenda unless there's an item that would like to be pulled for further discussion by the council. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart and a second by Councilmember Page. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The consent agenda has been approved. We do have 2 items this evening relating to the action items on the council's agenda. Item 5 is resolution number 2025-047, urging congressional support for Red River Army Depot. And I'm going to turn this over to our city manager, Dr. David Orr, to provide some additional comments. Dr. Orr?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This resolution of support is for Red River Army Depot, as you stated, which plays a critical role in our national defense by providing maintenance, repair, and overhaul of tactical military vehicles and equipment for the U.S. Army and other branches of the military. Discussions regarding federal reductions in spending, the loss or reduction of Red River Army Depot's operations would weaken our military readiness and be devastating for thousands of local employees and their families. While most federal government entities rely on annual congressional appropriations, RAD is financially self-sustaining by generating revenue from its customers rather than tax funding. Additionally, Red River Army Depot is a key economic driver for the Texarkana region and beyond, supporting jobs, economic activity across Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma, with an estimated $1.6 billion economic impact, according to the latest Texas Comptroller's Office study. With that, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have about the resolution.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Orr? Okay, if not, is there a motion for approval of the resolution?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Davis, and was that Councilmember Matlock? And a second by Councilmember Matlock. This item pertains to a resolution, so there is not a caption. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes unanimously. Item number 6 is resolution number 2025-050, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Mead and Hunt, Incorporated of Arlington, Texas, to update the technically based local limits for the South Regional, North Texarkana, and Wagoner Creek WWTPs for the cities of Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas, in an amount not to exceed $213,300 $364, with the Texas portion not to exceed $139,760.73, with funds available in the TW 2024-2025 budget Texas Capital Improvement Fund. And we'll have Gary Smith, and also David is with him this evening to provide us some information about this. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. This is David Waldrop. I don't know if y'all have met. He's our environmental supervisor and engineer, and he's the expert. I'm going to just do a briefing, and any questions he'll be glad to answer. Our technically based local limits are for our three sewer plants: the South Regional Wastewater Plant, the Wagner Creek Wastewater Plant, and the North Texarkana Wastewater Plant. And our limits, they're over 30 years old. Honestly, maybe 40. We really don't know how old they are, but they're way out of line. These changes that we're going to make will actually help some of the industries in town, and also make us Texarkana more attractive for industries to come in, because they're a little stricter in areas that they really don't need to be. The local limits are developed to protect all three of our wastewater plants from certain pollutants that could cause interference with the wastewater treatment damage to the plant, or pass through that can impact the water supply of a downstream user. The intent is to limit the amount of these pollutants entering the wastewater plant to a level that can be safely managed and treated by the wastewater plants. The limits apply to all our industrial users. It's just only the industrial users. And the industrial users are responsible to ensure that their wastewater discharge does not exceed these limits that are set. The current limits for our three wastewater plants, as I said, we're over 30 years old. And these limits also, they have to go to the state. TCQ will have to review and approve anything that we set. But this will help. This will effectively protect our plants, the public health, and make Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texarkana, Texas more attractive to industries. I'll be glad to answer any, or David will be glad to answer any questions, either one, if y'all have any.
Any questions by the council for Gary or for David?
David is cleaning up. There's a lot of stuff that's been out of date. This, I think, one of the last things we got left that'll fix all our environmental issues.
Okay, very good. Appreciate your work on that. So, any questions? Okay, all right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate your time. Unless there's any further discussion, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the resolution. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Page and a second by Councilmember Hart. Once again, this is a resolution. No caption available. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The resolution passes. We'll now move along to our first briefings. Item 1 is resolution number 2025-049, approving the Texarkana, Texas Economic Development Strategic Work Plan. And based on our first briefing items this evening, we will have public hearings and council votes at our next meeting, which will be held on May the 12th. So at this time, I'm going to call on our city manager, Dr. Orr, to brief the council on item 1. Dr. Orr?
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. So the city's Economic Development Strategic Work Plan outlines a comprehensive approach to sustaining and advancing the city's role as a regional economic leader. Serving a 17-county trade area, the plan focuses on strengthening partnerships. I can get to scroll down. Strengthening partnerships, particularly with RTex Ready, Texas A&M Texarkana, Texarkana College, and regional stakeholders, including Texarkana, Arkansas, and the Texarkana Regional Airport, to drive investment, expand infrastructure, and support entrepreneurship through initiatives like the Assembly Line Business Incubator. Additional strategies include reestablishing the city's Industrial Development Corporation, which a big step was taken tonight by adding additional members to that, forming a new Community Development Corporation, and supporting sports, tourism, and delivering responsive proposals to attract and retain businesses. Another key component includes partnering with the Texarkana Regional Chamber of Commerce to promote retail growth and expansion. The plan also includes a SWOT analysis, which helps guide decision-making and emphasizes long-term planning, collaborative development, and quarterly tracking of progress and reporting. With that, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Also, Rob Sitterly was unable to be here tonight, but he said he will be at the next meeting to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, all right. Very good. Thank you, David. Any comments or questions relating to this item? Okay, thank you, David. Item number 2 is ordinance number 2025-052, granting a specific use permit to allow the additional use of a permanent cosmetics on approximately .24 acre tract of land being Tract 3A, Mary E. Wills subdivision, located at 3115 Kennedy Lane, which is located in Ward 4, Ching Hong, owner. Good evening, Michelle.
Good evening, Mayor.
Michelle Daniel will brief the council on this item. Good evening, Michelle.
Good evening, Mayor, and good evening, Council. So this is a request for a specific use permit to allow the additional use of permanent cosmetics at 3115 Kennedy Lane. The property is zoned general retail, and it is currently an existing nail salon. The future land use map has designated this property as neighborhood retail. The adjacent zoning is general retail to the north, east, and west, and single-family 2 to the south. The adjacent land usage is retail to the north, east, and west, and residential to the south. Planning and zoning recommend for approval of this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Michelle on this item? Okay, very good. Items 3 and 4 are related, so I'm going to read both of those captions, and then Michelle will address both items. Item 3 is ordinance number 2025-053, rezoning on an approximate 5-acre tract of land being Tract 213B, LT King Headright Survey A-327, located at 3001 Bender Road, which is in Ward 1, from two-family 2 to planned development multiple family 1. Dennis Pascarella, owner, and David Williams, NTG Engineers and Surveyors Agent. Item 4, ordinance number 2025-054, amending PD-25-1 for the site plan approval for an approximate 5-acre tract of land being Tract 13B, LT King Headright Survey A-327, located at 3001 Bender Road, Ward 1. Dennis Pascarella, owner, and David Williams, MTG Engineering and Surveyors Agent. Once again, public hearing May 12th, council vote May 12th. Michelle?
So good evening again. This is a request to rezone and for a SUP for site plan approval for 3001 Bender Road from two-family 2 to planned development multiple family 1. The future land use map has designated this property as suburban residential. The adjacent zoning is two-family 2 to the north, West Wallace Drive to the south, single-family 2 to the west, and agriculture to the east. The adjacent land use is vacant land to the north and east, a service road to the south, and residences to the east. The site plan stipulations are the construction of 40 units, which will be 20 buildings. The access driveway will be off Bender Road and West Wallace Drive. There will be 60 parking spaces. There will be no signage, a screened dumpster site, and the site design will be required to meet all city development codes and ordinances. Planning and zoning has approved both of these requests, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Michelle on this item? Okay, very good. And then moving along with our agenda, items 5 and 6 are also related. Item 5 is ordinance number 2025-055, rezoning on Lot 2, Block 1, Buchanan Avenue Addition, located at 1108 Willis Street, which is in Ward 1, from commercial to single-family 3, Jermel Fulton, owner. Item number 6 is ordinance number 2025-056, granting a specific use permit to allow a HUD code manufactured home on Lot 2, Block 1, Buchanan Avenue Addition, located at 1108 Willis Street, Ward 1, Jermel Fulton, owner. Michelle?
Evening again. So this is a request to rezone 1108 Willis Street from commercial to single-family 3 and for a specific use permit for a HUD code manufactured home. The future land use map has designated this property as mixed-use development. The adjacent zoning is commercial to the north, south, and west, industrial 1 to the east, and the adjacent land use is vacant land to the north, south, and west, and Union Pacific Railroad yard to the east. The stipulations for the mobile home are that 2020 or newer HUD code manufactured home is allowed on the property. The HUD code manufactured home must be tied down, skirted, and underpinned. The home must be used for dwelling purposes only, and that all driveways, parking, and building codes and ordinances must be met. Planning and zoning do approve of this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Michelle on 5 and 6? Okay, very good. Item number 7 is ordinance number 2025-057, granting a specific use permit to allow a HUD code manufactured home on an approximate 1.85 acre tract of land, being tract 36C, RE Survey, Headright Survey A-523, located at 2591 Page Street, Ward 1, Jonathan Fowler, owner. Michelle?
Good evening. So this is a request for a specific use permit to allow the location of a single-wide HUD code manufactured home at 2591 Page Street. The property is currently vacant. The future land use map has designated this property as suburban residential, and the adjacent zoning is single-family 1 to the east, west, and south, single-family 2 to the north. The adjacent land use is residential to the west, vacant land to the east, south, and north. Staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend approval of this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Michelle? Okay, thank you. Item number 8 is ordinance number 2025-058, granting a specific use permit to allow a HUD code manufactured home on lots 16 through 18, Block 3, City Improv Company West Side. Second, located at 502 Sulphur Street, Ward 1, Leticia Perez, owner. Michelle?
So this is a request for a specific use permit for a HUD code manufactured home at 502 Sulphur Street. The property is zoned single-family 3. The future land use map has designated this property as neighborhood residential. The adjacent zoning is single-family 3 to the north, south, east, and west. The adjacent land usage is vacant land to the north, south, and west, and residential to the east. Staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend approval of this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Michelle on this item? Okay, thank you, Michelle. Appreciate the information. At this time, we'll move along to our public hearings. We do have 3 public hearings scheduled this evening. Item 1 is resolution number 2025-023, suspending the effective date for 90 days in connection with the application of Summit Utilities Arkansas Incorporated to increase natural gas rates and requesting that Summit produce additional information. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If there's anyone who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed, and at this time, I'm going to call on our city attorney, Mr. Jeff Lewis, to provide some additional information in reference to this item. Mr. Lewis, good evening.
Council members, when you have a utility requesting a proposed rate increase, you have basically 3 options. Notwithstanding a proposed resolution on the table, council can take no action. And taking no action means that the proposed rates go into effect May 1. The council can also act to deny the proposed increase. That gives the utility the option to appeal to the appropriate Texas regulatory agency. In this context, that's the Texas Railroad Commission. There's also a middle ground, a temporary middle ground. It would be suspending the proposed effective date for a period of 90 days. That would allow time for additional review, additional gathering of documentation, additional public notice. Even though the public's not here tonight, I think there's some issues with the public notice with respect to what was in the newspaper, if anybody still reads the newspaper, that the rates went into effect already. But that's not the case. They haven't gone into effect. Staff is recommending that the council opt for that temporary middle ground to suspend the proposed effective date. Suspension for 90 days would reset that effective date to July 31. Within such time, Charter would direct that we have another public hearing set for the next month. A request is outlined in the resolution form for categories of documentation. It's important for the public and for the council to identify that it is the council that sets the rates for Texarkana, Texas, not a regulatory body in another state. Although it is important to know what Arkansas rates are, because per our franchise agreements, some did agree to 3 years ago that have been in place for decades, Arkansas rates are a ceiling. Underneath that ceiling, there may be just and reasonable rates according to evidence that the council may opt to fix and set, or evidence could direct that The just and reasonable rates might be that ceiling amount, but we need evidence, we need financials. Councilmember Thompson, you called out financials and depreciation information at our last council meeting. We need evidence on plans, infrastructure, development. Councilmember Matlock, you identified that you had aging infrastructure in your particular ward, as I'm sure in many wards, and that's important information, not just for you, but for the city to understand and know. We need to see what information is available to show the city council what dollars are being spent, what is the purpose for the $2 million in revenue that someone has identified it needs to raise for purposes of its own operations. And I think there is still some critical review to be given, apart from the rates, to proposed riders. While that may be appropriate policy in Arkansas, I will be candid, I am on the fence, if not doubtful, that these types of riders comply with the criteria in Texas law for setting just and reasonable rates based upon the usage of the customer. With that, council, if the council would opt for the proposed resolution, there will be an opportunity for further discussion with Summit. Review of additional documentation, city staff can entertain issues that we have discussed in the past and perhaps additional issues as the evidence may bring forward. With that, even though I think I've given you an epistle with that particular resolution form, if you have any questions, please let me know.
So if there's a motion made and seconded and the council votes in reference to acknowledging or approving the resolution, then there would be a 90-day suspension of time for gathering of additional information and questions to be answered and asked and that sort of thing. Correct, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, Mayor, correct.
Okay. All right. Any questions, or everybody clear on what we're looking at here as a council? Okay, all right, very good. So, all right, so in reference to Resolution 2025-023, is there a motion for approval of the resolution?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Matlock, and we have a second by Councilmember Davis. Once again, this is a resolution, so there's not a caption involved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes unanimously. So thank you, Mr. Lewis, for your input on that, and we'll move forward with this item. Item number 2 is ordinance number 2025-043, rezoning an approximate 14.144 acre tract of land, being tract 98A, MH James Headright Survey, A-305, located 7970 Hampton Road, which is in Ward 5, from single family 2 to commercial. Ryan Berry, owner. Terry Moore, agent. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to come forward, please state your name for the record. Evening, sir.
Council members, Terry Moore, Vice President, TSD Logistics.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Glad to have you with us this evening.
Thank you, thank you. We purchased this land back, I believe it's 2009. I started construction in 2010 and moved into it in 2011. We were in the county at the time. Several years back, we got annexed in. We didn't realize at the time that we were in a residential zoning. So until we applied for a building permit to add a sign out front. So we're asking for rezoning to commercial. We got about 34 employees, and we got about $34 million a year in revenue coming to that location. So.
Okay, well, very good. Well, Mr. Moore, we thank you for being here this
Sure.
evening. Any questions for Mr. Moore by the council? Okay, thank you, sir. All right,
you.
appreciate it. All right, public hearing is still open. If anyone else would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward. Not seeing anyone else coming forward this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Thompson. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Texarkana, Texas, by rezoning on an approximate 14.144 acre tract of land, being tract 98A, MH Janes HRS A-305, located at 7970 Hampton Road in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, from single-family to commercial, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ordinance passes unanimously. We do have one more public hearing item. It's item number 3, resolution number 2025-048, authorizing the application for the placement of 4 historical markers on city property, which are named as follows. Number 1, City Hall Historical Marker. Number 2, Albert Prince Marshall Historical Marker. Number 3, the Adams Honest Treaty of 1819 Historical Marker. And item number 4, Highland and Bingham Park Historic District Historical Marker from the Texas Historic Commission. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you said, this resolution is a request for the application and the placement of 4 historic markers on city property. And as you mentioned, the first one is the City Hall Historical Marker, and that goes along with our 100-year celebration, which we'll have some more information further down this year. But part of the celebration is getting the historical marker for a 100-year celebration. And then a couple of the others, the AP Marshall, which we plan to put at Shepherd's Park, as well as the Adams Honest Treaty of 1819 as well. And then the Highland Bingham Park Historic District marker we plan to put out on Wood Street. And so this is to apply for those historical marker, as well as to get them placed on the property. And the Historic Preservation Commission was in favor, and staff is also in favor of the approval of this resolution. If you all have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, all right, very good. Michelle, I know we all know who you are, but if you please just state your name for the record.
Sorry, Vashil Fernandez.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much. Any questions for Vashil? Well, I think this is an exciting opportunity for us to be able to display our local history throughout the city, and so I think it's a great opportunity. So thank you for the information.
Thank you.
Okay. The public hearing is still open on this item. If anyone else would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward. Okay, not seeing anyone else coming forward at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the resolution?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Page. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Matlock. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes. Now, this completes our public hearings portion of the agenda. We'll now move along to the city manager's report. Dr. Orr.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. So just a quick update on a few items. First, the storm and flooding update that we received a significant rain event over the April 5th weekend. Approximately 8.5 inches of rainfall, 7 of which occurred in about a 12-hour period. So it's qualified as a 50-year storm. And just wanted to update the public that with the disaster declaration issued by Bowie County Judge Bobby Howe, the city staff has created a letter with instructions to report those damages to the Texas Division of Emergency Management. This information will be mailed directly to affected residents and posted online as well. We also have a floodplain FAQ that's on our website, and additional resources have been distributed to residents, and additional resources are on our website as well. So if you have any residents that reach out to you directly, please feel free to point them to city staff, and we have some information as well that you can take with you tonight. Also want to give you an update on Texarkana Water Utilities Advanced Metering Project, AMI. So if you recall, this was approved last year as part of the bond project with TWU. So the project's well underway to replace meters within the city. The initial 2-week rollout was intentionally paced so we could closely monitor the data integration and the system performance. That went well, and so they're ramping up. Installations began last week, April 7th, and additional installers are on site to increase our installation rate at approximately 100 meters per day. So to keep the public informed about this project, we're updating our TW website every Monday with the latest work locations, as well as door hangers to be placed in neighborhoods prior to the installation work. And just a couple of save the dates for you tonight. The Texas Municipal League Region 15 meeting we're hosting this year at the Convention Center. This is this Thursday, April 17th from 5:30 to 8. And then you mentioned the grand opening again at Wallace Park Soccer Complex on Saturday the 26th at 10 a.m. That's all.
Okay, very good. So, and Council, you're certainly welcome to attend that TML meeting on Thursday. So, David, you just want to let the council let you know if they're able to attend, or?
Yes, we'll have RSVPs or through Sean Vaughn. You can
Okay.
email Sean or I.
Okay, so just email David or Sean if you plan to be there for that event. So we look, I believe it's is it 5 or 5:30, David, on the reception part?
5:30. I believe the dinner actually starts at 6:30, so there's the reception at 5:30, and then the dinner begins at 6:30.
Well, we're very excited to host this event. I had received a call from New Boston Mayor Ron Humphrey a while back asking, because they've had it there in New Boston for the last several times, and asked if we would be interested in hosting it in Texarkana. So we're looking forward to do that. And I want to thank Sean for the effort that he put forth in getting this done here in Texarkana. And if there were any other staff members involved, I want to thank them as well for their time and effort as well. So once again, that'll be coming up this coming Thursday, April the 17th. Okay. All right. We'll now move along to administrative comments. Any comments from the council this evening to the staff? Mr. Thompson? Okay. So once again, I just want to thank, I know we had some heavy rains and a lot of flooding that took place a week ago Saturday or over that weekend, and so I want to commend our street department, our police and fire personnel, and others who were involved in that extraordinary effort, our street department, many that were involved with that, and appreciate that. I'm not aware of any type of injuries that occurred during that event, so we're very thankful for that, but that was a lot of rain in a short period of time, and so I want to thank everyone's effort with that, and hopefully don't have something like that anytime in the near future. All right, we'll turn it back over to city staff. Any comments, final comments from the staff this evening, David?
No additional comments.
Okay, very good. All right. Unless there's any other information to be brought before the council, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Page. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, we are adjourned. Once again, thank you all for joining us in the audience, and as well as those who've joined us online. Certainly hope you have a great evening.